Hi guys, how are you today? I just want to review the Australian Open Final 2021. I was actually at the match, so yeah, I had a few things to do the last few days. So I just want to review the match. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to go through like Djokovic's tournament, like leading up to the final quickly. I believe the first match he played quite great. Second round, TFO, a four-set struggle. The Djokovic that's won this 9 times, 8 times previously, he would have destroyed TFO. So already we're seeing something out of the ordinary for Djokovic. Um, okay, the third round, Taylor Fritz, he gets injured, gets to a fifth set, and if Fritz played it at a decent level, yeah, if Fritz played at a decent level, in that match in the fifth set, and he wasn't nervous having this big thing about beating Djokovic. Djokovic would have been out right there in the third round, but Fritz was nervous. He did hit a lot of errors. Djokovic kept the ball in and let him hit it out, right? After a struggle against Fritz. Then Raonic, again, Djokovic playing with the injury, very average level. But Raonic has never beat him and only won maybe one or two sets in their whole matchup. So Milos Raonic, he just mentally was like, "You can be on one leg. I don't believe I can win, and I just can't handle this situation." And he just gave it away, threw away the opportunity. So that's Raonic. I'm not blaming Djokovic for not being great because the guy's injured, right? But then that's just the reality. Milos Raonic is so mentally affected that he couldn't do anything with that. That's the fourth round. What about the quarterfinals? Djokovic against Zverev, right? Like Zverev dominates the first set. Mentally, he's like, "Oh no, I'm beating Djokovic. It's such a problem." So what does he do? Mentally collapses. They get to a tiebreaker, finds a way through it. Then he's like, "Well, I've got a chance to beat Djokovic. He's injured. I'm up a set." Mentally, another collapse in the second round. This whole barrier of look how good Djokovic is. This is his best Grand Slam. I can't handle it. It's back to one set all. Free love in the third set when they're one set all. Again, gets to that position and then just collapses and throws it all away again because he's like, well, I'm actually quite close and in a good shot of beating Djokovic at his best Grand Slam. He mentally collapsed and gave it up. Fourth set, the same. He's up two or three love, threw it all away again with his stupidity, with this whole thing about look at what Novak Djokovic, how good he is. Look at what he's done specifically at the Australian Open. Mentally throws it away. So then Djokovic is in the semi-final. He's playing this Russian guy around 115, 116. This guy did not collapse against him, but he played it like someone outside the top 100 that wouldn't have a chance with his abilities and where his game is to beat Djokovic, even with an injury. That turned out to be true. So it wasn't going to get any harder for Djokovic there than against Raonic and Fritz and Zverev because this guy is not even in the top 100. So you wouldn't expect him to take that opportunity of Djokovic not at his best. Couldn't do it. Djokovic is in the final. That's where we get to our Australian Open final preview. But Medvedev was actually on fire and on a 20-match winning streak going into this match. I think he lost two sets against a Serbian, Krajinovic or something, but he dominated. He won the Paris Masters in November last year. He won the World Tour Finals. He won every match at the ATP Cup, only losing two sets in six matches in the Australian Open leading into the final. So, based on what I've just described, like the form guide going into this match, you'd have to say, surely it's going to be Medvedev, surely. And if you look at their head-to-head, three of the last four matches, Medvedev had won. Um, I mean, firstly, before the three of the four, they played here 2 years ago. a 4-set, 4-hour battle, and Djokovic kind of outlasted him. But Medvedev was a long way where he was. Then later that year in April, they met in Monte Carlo. It was about straight sets to Medvedev, and he's not even good on clay. Shows he matches up well against Djokovic. They went to Cincinnati, so that was like two close sets. That was two straight sets, but they were both close sets in favor of Medvedev. Medvedev played at a high level, Djokovic decent. That's 2019. 2020, three sets, really tight match. Medvedev playing poorly at the start, then really picking up his game and just winning the second and just coming down to a few big pressure points. Djokovic surviving. Then you got the World Tour Finals November last year, 6-3, 6-3. Medvedev's destroying Djokovic. So based on that's the last five matches. Before that, you're going back to 2017. Medvedev was much younger. But Medvedev matches up against him in the history, and then his form right now is amazing. Djokovic is injured, just surviving on the basis of other guys who can't really do it. So, I mean, when you look at it all, and you look at how it's went, you would just say Medvedev must get it, right? The only thing I was worried going into this match is what if Medvedev thinks about how good Djokovic is like the others, how many Grand Slams, and specifically beating him at his best Grand Slam, the Australian Open, and says my game's not good enough. I'm going to have to do something special, and tries to change his game and show off his rhythm, and that's something special. Usually, is I've just got to blow them and hit winners, which means hit the ball on the line at an extremely high speed, high risk of errors, and you're probably going to blow the whole match. When his normal game, based on his pass head to head, he's proved he's got it, right? So based on how he's playing right now, he's even more of a threat to Djokovic. If he brings that to the table, but if he just forgot all of that and said, no, Djokovic has won this 8 times, he's 8 out of 8 from finals, it's going to take something extremely special. It's not just my normal game. I've got to do something special. So I've just got to go for lines and just hammer it and take all these kind of risks and do something miraculous. If that was his mental game, that was the only thing that was going to ruin this final for Medvedev. So, but unfortunately, that is exactly what happened. Medvedev was mentally beaten by what Djokovic has done in his career, and specifically here at the Australian Open. He just decided to go for it, to take risks. That's not his game. And all Djokovic had to do while injured is to just say, I'm just going to keep it on the court, play like a David Ferrer style, and hope you make mistakes and hope you mess it up. That's all that Djokovic needed to do. That's all that he did do. And again, he gets a guy who collapses against him, and he basically plays it injured, gets the best out of himself while playing at a 5 out of 10 level, and wins because everybody basically collapsed against him. I'm not saying that he's bad. Most people would retire being injured or be worse than this. So for him to be at a sort of 5 to 6 out of 10 level, credit to Novak Djokovic. That's the best you could do. But still, he was at the mercy of these other players. If they had a good match against him, he was not going to be able to do it. But that never eventuated in this Australian Open. So anyway, let's go back to the match, right? Medvedev comes out nervous, gets down 3-love in the first set, right? So yeah, I mean, you haven't had many Grand Slam finals. Sure, he'll be more nervous. Gets over that. He's the better player. What you can see now is Medvedev's playing his normal game that have I described, like He's able to match Djokovic in the rally with consistency on the shot. Power, they've got about the same. Maybe he could even be slightly more. And then he's more likely to start the points ahead because he's got a better serve, right? And he's just doing Djokovic's game when he was 25. Medvedev's producing that. And like I said, that means he's got this shot tolerance, consistency, power on a similar level. But then the defense that Djokovic has, he has that, but he's even faster. So he's got a step ahead of him with the speed due to being younger. And then, like I said, he has the ability to start more of these rallies ahead due to having a better serve. And that's what we're seeing in the beginning of the game. And also, if these long rallies that they play that go on forever goes for hours, Djokovic, being the older guy, is going to get tired, going to have to bail out, going to have to take risks, hit the edge of the line himself, going to have to try drop shots and try all these things. That's what you saw. You saw Medvedev working him out, Djokovic not being able to handle it. And once the rally got too long, he hit a bailout shot, a drop shot, going for too much deep and all these type of things. And Medvedev just has him at his mercy. He's got over the nerves where Medvedev wouldn't get in a rally, he just would go for it. And he's got Djokovic realizing that he's just a younger version of me. In these long rallies, he's a step faster. I did great things with my defense and speed, but he's doing the exact same, but just even a bit faster because he's younger. He is starting the rallies ahead because he's 6'6". He's got a better serve than me. And if this goes hours, he's going to outlast me. So Djokovic constantly is in trouble. He has to hit drop shots. He tries to rally. He has to hit shots deep over the back line, low percentage, because he knows someone who can do everything he can do, but has got a bit more court speed and is younger is going to outlast him. And then again, the better serve. Djokovic is in trouble. So Medvedev's got him at his mercy at this point, and Djokovic is staying in the rally for a while, but realizing, this isn't going to work for him. Medvedev is faster with the speed in the rally, and he's going to outlast him. So Djokovic can't handle it. He's hitting drop shots, hitting the ball out, and admitting, like, I can't play this sort of long rally game with Medvedev. He's got an age advantage. He's taller, faster, younger, and better endurance. So considering their main game is basically rallying, and Djokovic has to end the rally and admit he can't do it through low percentage shots, drop shots, or hitting it out, Medvedev has him at his mercy. But then Medvedev goes back to the nerves at 5-6 on serve, hits a couple of errors, and again, Djokovic is the one being forced to hit the low percentage shot, drop shot, and hitting it out. Djokovic is at Medvedev's mercy, but Medvedev's just and forgets all that. And instead of Djokovic having to bail out on the rally and hit the low percentage shot, he just says, I'll do it for you because I'm nervous and I'm thinking about all you have done in your career and all you've done here at the Australian Open. And I'm saying to myself, well, that's going to take something special. So I'll have to do something ridiculous. So I'm not going to play my name. I'm going to have to take crazy risks. I'm going to have to do something special and hope it comes off. But by doing this, he's bailing out Djokovic physically. He's losing his endurance advantage by being younger. The fact that he's faster and younger in the rallies with more speed on the defense, and that thing that Djokovic had with the long rallies and defense and speed, he's a step ahead of that due to being younger. And Djokovic is having to bail out, but he's bailing out Djokovic. He's saying to Djokovic, you don't need to take the risk. I'll do it for you because I'm intimidated by what you've done here at the Australian Open. So I'm just going to let you rest. I'm not going to have the advantage by me being younger with better endurance, like a younger version of you who's faster at running down balls. I'm just going to think about what you've done in the past. I'm going to be intimidated. I'm going to say, I'm going to have to do something special. I'm going to go for the lines hard. Which is going to cause me to miss a lot of shots, which means you won't have to get involved in these tiring rallies. You won't have to take a risk to end it. I'm going to do it because I'm mentally intimidated. So that's 7-5, the first set. Medvedev gets it back a bit, gets a break early in the second. But then when Djokovic breaks him back again, he's not thinking about the fact that he's just a younger version of Djokovic who is going to outlast him, and in the rallies he's going to be faster, and he's just going to basically out Djokovic. No, he's just saying, who am I? Look what he's done here. I'm going to have to hit the ball hard, near the line, take risks. And again, nervous play, not just saying, I'm going to stick with my game and I believe that's going to be better than yours. Especially now you're injured. I'm younger than you. I'm taller than you. I've got a better serve. I'm like you at 25 with a better serve. And I'm healthy. You're like a tired, old, injured man. You'll have no chance. But instead, he says, no, 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 no. I'm going to help Djokovic physically, where he's going to want to keep the point short. And I'm not going to ask him to hit that low percentage shot to end the point because he knows he can't beat me in the long rallies. I'm going to do it for him because I'm nervous, and it's the intimidation. It's like you've won the Australian Open that many times. I'm the one that needs to do something special. So I need to sort of hit winner after winner. So by doing that, high risk for Medvedev, creating errors, and Djokovic is getting exactly what he wants. He can't win these long rallies with Medvedev physically over a long period. He's slower. He's injured. Medvedev starting the rallies ahead with the serve. But Medvedev is not thinking about all of that. He's just thinking about what Djokovic has done. Like I said, high risk shot, errors, and Djokovic is saying, great. Like, I couldn't go with these long rallies with you. I'm going to run out of energy. You're faster. You're healthier. I can't do it. I need to end the rallies. But now I don't have to hit the risky shots. I don't have to make all these errors because you're ending the point for me and you're hitting errors. So now all I have to do is keep the ball in the court and wait for errors, like I'm playing a Tsonga or a Berdych type. You're just giving it away to me. So from the break early in the second set, what happens is Medvedev does that. He plays a Tsonga Berdych type. He just hits the ball out, and Djokovic is saying, great, I don't have to physically work. I don't have to take any risk to end the point because you're ending it for me. I'm just going to wait for the inevitable error and win all these points without much effort. So this is an ideal for me. And he does that the rest of the match, and Medvedev gives him exactly what he wants. And Djokovic wins the Australian Open. I mean, I couldn't believe it that Medvedev would not realize that like everything was in his favor if he plays his normal game, but he wouldn't realize it. He would say Djokovic is amazing at the Australian Open. He's done this and that, and I have to do something miraculous. So I'm not going to play my normal game. I'm just going to hammer it on the lines and hope I hit 200 winners, and that's my only way. Instead, he got many, many errors, and Djokovic didn't have to be in long rallies and didn't have to take a risk to end the rally because Medvedev was doing it, and just had to simply wait for the errors to come. Play an average 5 out of 6 out of 10 while you're injured, and this Grand Slam is going to be handed to you. That's exactly what had happened here, and like I said, he wasn't the only one that had that problem to say, look what Djokovic has done at the Australian Open. Mentally, I can't handle it. I mean, his semi-final was against someone outside the top 100, so that wasn't an issue. But Zverev had it, Raonic had it, Fritz had it. All these guys basically could not beat an injured guy because it was too mentally intimidating what he had done in the past. They all had to say, I need about 200 winners. I just need to hammer the ball on the line, take all these risks. And instead, they gave Djokovic hundreds of errors, which allowed Djokovic to just play average, wait for errors, and win a Grand Slam. When the other guys did it, I thought, the day of reckoning where Djokovic is going to face against Medvedev, where someone's just going to play at a great level, physical, long battles. And if Djokovic is not at his absolute best, he can't win. But Medvedev just went and did what all the others, and it didn't matter what he had done against Djokovic at the past, the winning run that he was in. He just gave it away. And Djokovic said, I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to wait for your mistakes. And he did that, and he got a Grand Slam out of it. I'll praise Djokovic because, even if he didn't produce a great level and it was about the opponent messing it up, to at least get to a 5, 6 out of 10 while you're injured. If he wasn't injured, I would say This is his best Grand Slam. He's lost it. He's only won because everyone else had a bad day against him. But he only did win because everyone had a bad day against him. It's true, but to at least stick out the level where he can win while everyone else is having a bad day against him. That's good to be able to achieve that while you're injured. But I mean, if you look at this, like if you get an example, like I'm not going to tell you what the commentators will tell you. They want to make money. This is a business. For me, it's not. I'm here to tell you the truth. They want to say whoever won any tournament, especially a Grand Slam, they're a great champion and they played amazingly and look what they did. This didn't happen here. Djokovic was injured. He could only play average at best. He produced his best while injured, which was average tennis, and everyone had a bad day against him. One of the main reasons he won this Grand Slam was because the main competitors, Thiem, Dominic Thiem, Nadal, and Medvedev all had a bad day. Nadal had a bad day against Tsitsipas from up 2 sets to love and gave it away. Medvedev had a bad day against him in the final, and Thiem had a bad day against Dimitrov. And those are the guys that can beat Djokovic. Djokovic never had a bad day. He had average days where he waited for the other guy to implode, and they continued to happen. So that's what I think about the matchup. And to give you an idea about this whole idea, like no matter what, the Grand Slam winner is the great champion, let's all celebrate them. I'm going to explain how that's rubbish, right? Because, like, for example, let's go to the Rome Masters last year. Djokovic won that one, right? He played at an average level. Nadal went out early again, same thing. No one was there to challenge him. And because that, the average level kept going until he got the trophy. The French Open last year, he played an average level, got to the final, got destroyed by Nadal, 6-2, 6-love, 7-5. But he was one win away from winning. He was in a Grand Slam final. How could it look like he was that close and then suddenly be destroyed? If something happened and Nadal got injured, that average level would have taken him to the French Open title. So and then everybody would have been saying he's amazing. He's a great champion. But because he run into that great level in Nadal, this average level that Djokovic is able to produce wins against Nadal in his best situation at the French Open, he looks like a joke. Now he looks miles away. He's no better than that. He's injured now. He's probably worse. Djokovic, that is. But the main difference is, like I said, if Nadal wasn't there, he would have played one more average game and he would have won that French Open. Not because he was great, because there was no one else. So what I want to say about that is the same thing's true here. He's playing at that average level. If you can't produce someone else playing at a great level, I'm going to continue to win until I get it. At the French Open, he never got it till the final, so he continued to win until the final. At the Australian Open, he never got it at all. So it's just based on chance, you know. Like I said, you can clearly see 6 wins at the French Open through to the final and then being very far away. He's basically saying this average level will win me a Grand Slam unless someone produces something good. And at the French Open, that was produced against him. And suddenly, this average level is always winning lately for Djokovic. You get to see how it's actually not that great at all. But at the Australian Open, the difference was he got 7 wins instead of 6. The French Open, he was able to get away with it till the final, and then he was exposed for that low level in the final. The Australian Open, he got 7 wins instead of 6. That's the difference. It's all about chance here. Do you get 6 easy matches and then get Nadal and get destroyed? Or do you get 7 easy matches and now you're the champion? So for me, Djokovic hasn't been playing well. I would say From 2011 to 2016, he produced a high level. Then he was off for a couple of years. Then from Wimbledon 2018 to the Australian Open 2019, he played at a high level, but we haven't seen that again since him. But I'm not going to say this is based on his level. I'm going to say it's based on his injury. He did the best what he had. He said he's injured, so I'm just going to give it to him, right? But one thing I will say is, right, this extreme domination where you saw like Djokovic just dominated the Australian Open, Nadal at the French Open, and it's really only Wimbledon and the US Open, and it's Wimbledon now because Federer's older, that sort of anyone can win it. But the Australian Open's always locked up for Djokovic, French Open for Nadal. This this is nothing like anymore. Um, After since 2019. Djokovic is not dominating at the Australian Open. Last year, he was tired, he was exhausted, he was down 2-1. He was at Thiem's mercy. And again, he was dependent on Thiem losing it, hitting a whole bunch of errors in the fourth and fifth set for him to come back from 2-1 and get it. Not based on what Djokovic is doing. He needed the other guy to be off. Again, this tournament, throughout the tournament, including the final, he was playing at a level. He's dependent on everybody being off. He gets it again. But the last 2 years at the Australian Open, this whole high level that he produces at the Australian Open, Nadal at the French, he's not doing that anymore at the Australian Open. Nadal still is. Look at the differences. You won't like see Nadal at the French Open have these type of results like 4 sets against Tiafoe in the second round, 5 sets against Fritz, 4 sets against Raonic, 4 sets and behind free love all his sets against the Rev. You won't see that, but like Djokovic used to dominate too at the Australian Open. That's not happening. Last year, I would have to say it's because he lost it. This year, it could be an injury. So I can't just say he's lost it based on this result because he's saying he's injured. So that may be causing this. He may have just got bad luck and been injured. He couldn't produce near his best. He just said, well, I'll give it a try anyway and hope everybody has a bad day. Why not? It's better than just retiring. Maybe I'll get lucky. And that happened to happen. And now it's all worth it because he's won the Australian Open, right? But what I want to say is like a really good example of the fact that Djokovic is playing at an average level and everybody else is off is the fact that in Rome last year on clay, he won playing an average level. 5 matches in a row. Then he won 6 matches in a row in the French Open. And he was able to do that because no one else produced a higher level and just playing average was good enough. But when average met a great level against Nadal, then you see he's miles away. The Djokovic that used to push Nadal to 4 hour 4 sets at the French Open, even if Nadal was better because it was clay, it was nothing like that because Djokovic has dropped off. Even 2013 when they played 9-7 in the fifth at the French Open, Djokovic wasn't anything like that in 2020, and he wasn't like that in this Australian Open either. He was playing at an average level, and if he saw anything like Nadal at the French Open, or even a good level from Nadal at the Australian Open, he was gone. The other thing I'll say is, as far as missed opportunities from this Australian Open is, Nadal has lost a huge opportunity because if he would have played Djokovic in this final, he wouldn't have been all mental. He wouldn't have been nervous. He's someone who's won 20 Grand Slams. He's not like the other guy. Like I've won almost nothing and I'm trying to break through. So he would have been able to play without nerves and produce a good level and not have any of these mental issues, even though he's not won on hard court against Djokovic lately. The fact that he destroyed him at the French Open is hard to destroy someone and then have any kind of fear or worries about playing them. Secondly, if you say I destroyed the guy healthy and now he's injured, Nadal would have been at a much better advantage playing Djokovic at this Australian Open than at the French Open because the surface matters. And when Nadal and Djokovic have been at their best, their matches are close. 4 tough sets, 5 tough sets, the hard court ones to Djokovic, the clay to Nadal. But it's just swinging close matches one way or the other. But like, if you're Nadal, health is the most important. So you would rather play Djokovic on your worst surface. This isn't even his worst, but on a surface that doesn't suit you while he's injured. Because if you can say it's Nadal Djokovic, one has health, the other doesn't, you would rather have that advantage than a surface advantage that are close matches and just swinging. So for this situation, what Nadal had, the opportunity was to say, like, I had that time I destroyed you at the French Open, I could build on that momentum, take it. And anyway, my next match on a hard court, I was going to have a better chance because of the momentum of what happened at the French Open. But now, even more than that, I'm going to have the momentum of destroying you in our last match. Plus, I'm going to get you injured. So, of course, you're more likely to do that breakthrough on a hard court and at beating him at the Australian Open when he's injured. So, those two things together, Nadal, the momentum from destroying him at the French Open and getting Djokovic on a hard court injured, Nadal had a chance to be at 21 Grand Slams right now and 22 at the French Open and have that record for winning all 4 Grand Slams twice, be the most consistent on the 4. But he would have beat Djokovic. But what we saw is guys playing on and off. He was a bit off. He had a bad day. Tsitsipas was on. Then that was just a one-off. Tsitsipas was off the next time against Medvedev. Then Medvedev was on in the semifinals, then off. And then this sort of whole trigger back and forth. Djokovic benefits. Djokovic could play that level at the French Open, which was nowhere near Nadal. But as long as he doesn't play Nadal, he can just survive. Don't bring me Nadal and I'll beat everybody else. That's what he did at the French Open. And then suddenly you saw how average he was. But he's like, the same thing. I'm bringing an average level. Don't bring me anything good and I'll survive. He got him to the French Open final and then he got unlucky. He had to play Nadal at the French Open. This time he didn't have to meet that. He just had to meet guys that mentally gave it away. And that average level took him 7 wins instead of 6. So he's the Australian Open champion. But Nadal missed an opportunity. The one thing I'll say from Djokovic, the good luck he got here, you could say the injury is bad luck. So if the injury didn't happen, he would have beat everyone else, including Nadal, possibly. But then you could say the good luck is he was injured and then everybody else played poorly against him. So that's a good luck. Then you could also say Djokovic had bad luck at the US Open. Like he would have won it. No Nadal, no Federer. He would have ended up against Thiem in the final. Thiem would have had a nervous match again. Like he did, he went down 2-0 against the Rev. He would have gave it away the way Medvedev. So he lost an opportunity because he hit the ball girl or woman or linesman or whatever it is. So he lost. So he probably threw away a guaranteed Grand Slam, and then maybe now he got one he shouldn't have got. But as far as we look forward into the GOAT debate, now what would have happened is the two things here. If Nadal won this, he would have been at 21, 4 ahead of Djokovic. So, and then would have pushed 5 ahead. It would have been completely over. If neither of them win, like if Medvedev got the final, which was now a high probability with the Djokovic injury, but didn't happen because everybody else messed it up. Then it would have been 20-17, and then at the French Open, 21-17. So again, even though it's not 22-17, 4, it's very, very hard. But he basically held serve, and he's made it now 18 for him, 20 for Nadal. So now Nadal has to, when Nadal wouldn't have been perhaps in that position where he could have stayed ahead and pushed even further ahead, now Nadal really needs to win the French Open because Djokovic won his best Grand Slam. It's better to be Djokovic where it's already on the board as guaranteed, but Nadal, I guess it's as close to guaranteed as you could expect. Of course, you never know injuries or any of that other stuff, but he held serve and pushed the gap to 2. Now Nadal needs to hold serve and get the French Open and go 3 slams again ahead of Djokovic. So that's the situation as far as that. But anything other than Djokovic winning, the GOAT debate would have been over because Nadal would have been 4 or 5 slams ahead after the French Open. but that's not the case. Djokovic has kept it going, but Nadal's still a heavy favourite in the GOAT debate, especially if he takes out this French Open 2021. So that's all I've got to say. Djokovic got injured. Djokovic played an average tournament. Most of it was to do with his injury and physical limitations. He plays an average level because of the injury and has to hope everybody has a bad day against him, and that happens. So as a result, he's the champion. That average level, like I said, would have won the French Open if there's no Nadal. Beat everybody else, won Rome before that. And he can just continue to play at that level unless the high level happens, which did happen at the French Open, but didn't happen for 6 matches before that and didn't happen for 7 matches here. So for that reason, Djokovic is the 2021 Australian Open champion and wins his 18th Grand Slam. I was at the match, so I'm going to post some videos of me being there and talking about it and giving a bit of commentary from the arena. I'm going to have an online interview from Roger Federer. We're going to connect uh, over a video conversation. I'm going to post that for you. And then I'm going to just have a whole lot of stuff. We've got more tournaments going on. In the middle of March, we're going to have the Acapulco and then Dubai, and then the very end of March going into early April, we're going to have Miami. We're going to have the Rotterdam tournament first week of March. Second week of March, we've got Qatar, plus the interview with Federer. I'm going to get him right before he plays his first match and talk about how he's feeling and all of that. Everybody's going to want to know, where's Federer at? How's he feeling about the comeback right before he plays? I'm going to have that interview on my channel here. So please subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world. And like the video. Don't forget, subscribe, thumbs up, bell notification, subscribe, and have a great day. Thanks for watching, and be back for my next video. Bye for now.